Hard work this summer has really paid off. His one-on-one skills are very good, and he made some big plays for us down the stretch. But a great night for us. I don't think we've beaten them, if I heard correctly, since 1966. So for the first time in 45 years, Southeastern has now, beaten someone like Louisiana Tech. We're the most consistent program in the state of Louisiana for the last 8 years. I continue to say that, and now that we've gotten two in-state rivals in ULM and Louisiana Tech. We've got Southern we need to take care of in about 10 days, but hopefully we can do that. But we're a very tired ball club right now, and so right now it's all about getting energy and kind of learning the next opponent and trying to go on the road and get a quality win as well against an OVC opponent that's very good in Southeast Missouri.
Well, you take a look at it tonight, as you said, struggled with the free throw line. They out-rebounded you by 16, but somehow this ball club kept fighting and fighting and maintained a lead for, I would say, about 90% of this ball game tonight.
Yeah, it was real disappointing because under 2 minutes I thought we're going to give this lead up. But they had some really great contributions. I thought John Lewis did a nice job. And it's unfortunate, but also good to see him kind of coming into his own as a player for La Tech, and he'll be a good big man. He's a young guy we kind of recruited, but he had a good night, and unfortunately in the wrong uniform. But we did a pretty good job. John Lewis had 20 points and was really good inside. He was very motivated. It's interesting to me how many players that know our program or were recruited by our program or played in our program that come back here and play so well against us with something to prove. But I thought other than Lewis, and I thought McNeil got loose too many times. It's as if we didn't understand the scouting report, but did a nice job defensively, held them in the 60s in overtime, and could have made just a couple plays. But give credit, down one, and a big offensive rebound by Roosevelt basically finished him for the night. He got hurt on the play. Deshaun at least scraps out one of the two. We go to overtime. We have life. And then we kind of did like we did the rest of the night. We kind of led most of the overtime and got that 4 and 5 and 6 point working margin. And then it just came down to a possession game down the stretch. I thought one of the adjustments of the game, and you and I talked about this before the game, was what do we see out there and what adjustments do we need to make defensively or pick and roll wise. And I thought the best suggestion I had of the night goes to Alex Housleyden. We have a good big man in Antonio Benton. He can guard on the perimeter. And instead of going with pop and getting the mismatch, we brought another big back in. We did, instead of being small like them, we went big like normal. Antonio picked up the point guard, and all of a sudden we totally negated on a ball switch every high pick and roll. There was no more roll, there was no more pick, there was no more drive, and Jan and Antonio did a great job down the stretch, and then we played a little offense, and Pop came in for some free throws, Antonio came in for some defense, he got some rebounds, he hit a nice 3 in overtime, and a great contribution from a lot of guys tonight. And again, when our smarts catch up with our ability, and we don't approach the game so tentatively at times, we're going to be awfully good. And we're just going to hopefully get better here in about 10 days when Big Elgin gets eligible, and hopefully we can just blend him in and have great chemistry. And it'll be a little tough at first. We're going to have to kind of rework the rotation, but hopefully, if we do a good job as coaches, we can blend it in quickly. But just an exciting night, an exhausting night, but a great night for our program to beat an in-state rival and to go to 4-2 and hold serve at home and keep a new streak alive. We're about at 6 or 7 games again, and hopefully we can start creeping up in the national average.
Able to build some big leads tonight.
Yeah.
We can take that on the road as you head to Southeast Missouri on Saturday evening. How do they compare, say to Louisiana Tech and or Western Kentucky that you've seen here?
Very much the same. The only game I really watched of them is their opening game against Missouri, and they were very good against Missouri. They played very well. They've got a couple of Division I transfers. They've got a great point guard from Dallas who started at Iowa State. They've got a 6'8" forward who started at Missouri. So they're very talented and athletic and quick. And I think they're very similar to what we've seen in ULM and Western Kentucky and La Tech, to be sure. The thing that I think is most impressive in our last 2 games is we're facing programs with name and stature, and they're both desperate. They have losing records. They've got good talent, but they're desperate to win, and they're fighting for their lives. And the fact that we're meeting that challenge and playing with them, despite some mistakes, is very encouraging. And again, you know, if we can finish up a few things like making free throws and rewarding ourselves for our hard work, we're going to be a tough out down the stretch. And we're learning and we're getting better at controlling those pressing situations and how to score and how to play. And I'm proud of our team for executing just enough. And hopefully we'll get a little smarter, a little more experience for a very big game. If we can win SEMO on the road, and it'll be a very tough out, they'll be one of the top 4 teams in the OVC this year. That's Murray State, and that's Austin Peay, and that's Tennessee Tech, and that's a great league, and Tennessee State, and of course Moorhead. Moorhead and Murray have been to the NCAA tournament, like those 2 teams in the last 4 years. Every year they represent. Well, SEMO is in that group now. If we could somehow scratch out a win there and go to 5-2, it would really bode well with Elgin coming off the break out of his 1 year sitting out. So, exciting night, lots to think about, lots to consider. Hopefully we'll just get better and keep playing well.